So we will continue with the panel discussion, European Digital Hubs and National HPC Competence Centres as a support system for industry. And I welcome you, the moderator of this session, Ilmar Slaidinš from Latvia, who is also the EuroCC Latvia manager.
Okay, I'm happy that there are so many people from Western countries, from Nordic countries and so on. I have a task to discuss quite a tricky issue about EDIH, and I'm looking for Anders, what he will tell about this, because in second phase of the project we have got tasked to collaborate with COEs and also with EDIH. And with EDIH it's quite tricky. We started in Latvia at this point, but quite difficult to succeed in this. And the point is European Digital Hubs and National HPC Competence Centres as a support system for industry. So how can we all support this industry? And therefore we invited people from Nordic countries and also here Lithuanians, Estonians and Latvians to discuss this issue. But really, presentations will be just from Sweden and from Finland. And there are two people also from Latvia who will participate in discussion. But I would like to give floor for presentation Solja Sulkunen. She is from Fair EDIH, Finland. And please.
Thanks a lot. I think the clicker's right here. I've tried to speak to quite many of you, but not all, but I will be here until 5-ish. So if you wish to talk more, then that's my timeline for today. Happy to meet you all. My presentation is now about Finnish AI region EDIH and how we collaborate with our local node CSC. In regards of supporting SMEs in utilization and trialing HPC and the Lumi supercomputer, for example. But a little bit about the EDIH at first. So this is a program funded through the Digital Europe program. Total funding is 7.5 billion euros, and the project size for FAIR is 3.2 million. Our focus is to accelerate the utilization of AI in SMEs, but we also have expertise through CSC in high-performance computing and through our other beneficiaries in added reality solutions and cybersecurity. Our main verticals are health tech, smart cities and smart mobility, and then digital service industries. Meaning, if you can't put your company into health or smart city kind of a pool, then we still accept all the companies to our ecosystem, and then we just categorize them as digital service industries. Right, all the EDIHs operate on 4 service levels, basically. One of them being skills and training. The second one being research, development and experimentation support. We call them test before invest services amongst EDIHs. Then we help to support the funding and financials for companies and help them scale up to international markets. And then we help them through matchmaking through different kind of ecosystem events and networking events and so forth. For FAIR, we have quite big consortium involving 4 big universities from the southern Finland area: Aalto University, University of Helsinki, Metropolia University of Applied Sciences, and Haaga-Helia University of Applied Sciences. Then in addition to CSC, EIT Digital is covering the access to finance side. Kira Innovation Hub is taking care of the built environment sector. Helsinki AXA Center is then taking care of the added reality solutions. Who else do we have? Then, of course, the 3 big cities, City of Helsinki, under which I am employed currently, the City of Espoo, the City of Vantaa. We do have also associated partners who contribute to our project financially. We have 5 at the moment: Helsinki Uusimaa Regional Council, ABB, Varian Health Engineers, Google at the moment, and Microsoft. And we are still looking for more corporate partners to support the journey. Technology Industries of Finland are very major partner when it comes to taking care of the rights of technology companies and supporting them from that political landscape. Also FCAI is one of the key partners, bringing in high expertise from to universities and VTT, which is the Governmental Research Center in Finland. And Arcada is now taking care of the ethical evaluations of AI solutions. And then HUS is providing us with data and test environment services for our health companies. All right, but then into the actual business. So how in Finland we actually support SMEs in utilizing the HPC, high performance computing. We ask them first when they register to our ecosystem, we ask, do you have a lot of data to handle? If they say yes, then that's a positive sign. Then we might ask, is your calculation capacity enough? If they say no, then that's a positive sign that we might be forwarding them to CSC. They might be somehow connected to research projects or groups, which is also good because that means that there's like something like a deep tech foundation behind the solution and actual data. They need to have sufficient technical skills so that they can actually receive the expert advice from CSC and then utilize it in their development and work and trialing. So pretty much we are not forwarding any cases who don't have sufficient technical skills, who would then just sit with CSC and not go anywhere. So we're doing the preliminary screening for CSC of the potential SMEs that actually might be able to benefit from high performance computing. And then these are just a few kind of use case examples that CSC is now handling basically. But as we've talked over the a couple of years now, is that CSC wants to really understand the needs of SMEs from the field. We are okay if these do not turn into actual customer cases with CSC, but it still increases the awareness and understanding what's needed and what is the level and status of the skills and capabilities of SMEs and their needs in Finland. So we pretty much quite low-key try to channel as many SMEs to CSC as possible to kind of formulate this understanding. How CSC is actually currently serving these SMEs. The first service directly operating under the FAIR budget is this HPC needs analysis session, which is like an hour consultation with the company. What do you do? What do you need? What are your problems? Where do you need help? And then the CSC experts will actually evaluate further if it will turn into a try and buy case or not. And try and buy is something that Juhani mentioned earlier. You can try for free if high performance computing is something relevant for you. No strings attached. It's okay to say no and go to different ways afterwards, but it might end up into actual paying customer case afterwards. The try and buy service, however, is funded through other European initiatives and not through the FAIR program anymore, but there is a standardized customer flow from the HPC needs analysis to this try and buy program and onwards, facilitated by the CSC experts. Then CSC, partially with FAIR funding, is organizing a lot of training events, and I do believe that in Finland we're at the state where SMEs don't actually quite know how they could utilize high-performance computing. They lack understanding of the use cases, ongoing use cases, what's been done, what can be done. They need really concrete case examples, and I'm happy to see those here as well. And we need a lot more this kind of training before these SMEs can actually turn into paying customers for CSC, actually start like really leveraging high performance computing. And I do hope that once we train the people in Finland, basically the students, the companies, there will be more initiatives that are data-driven, big data-driven, Now in Finland, we have a lot of SMEs that work on like traditional professions and industries that do not really require high performance computing, but they need like more basic digitalization support, even moving from Excel sheet to digital platforms. But that's not what we talk about with, or what we want to do in FAIR. The resources, I mean, we've talked about Lumi a lot, but there's also Mahti and Puhti in Finland, and also those are utilized with the SMEs. But what more, it's been also said here a couple of times that there's a consensus that we need all the stakeholders on board and to be motivated to really increase the usage of high performance computing. And luckily in Finland, we also have the state on board. And Juhani mentioned this as well, Business Finland, which is the national kind of funding organization for companies that possess international commercial kind of capabilities. Business Finland supports those financially, and regarding high performance computing, they give out grants from 20 to 100,000 euros, so that these SMEs could then, with the help of CSC, utilize Lumi, for example. A little bit about the customer flow. I did mention this on some level, but basically when we have, you can imagine FAIR EDIH as a broker office, basically between different kind of expert service providers that in our case are mostly universities, and then CSC, EIT Digital, the cities and so forth. So a customer company fills in and submits a registration form. We give them a call. Hey, you wrote this, is this really what you meant? We present it to the whole consortium where we have a member representative from each beneficiary organization who can then put their hand up and say, hey, I think this company actually and their case is interesting to us. Yes, let's put them forward. Or we might think like, okay, this is not really a company that we're looking for, that we'd want to offer customized state-funded services. So we welcome them as ecosystem customers to open events and trainings. But if there is kind of any indication that one or more of the beneficiaries would like to offer expert services to the company, we assign a customer manager from FAIR, who then creates a preliminary service roadmap. And how the case moves forward is that we conduct this digital maturity assessment required by the EU. First, do AI maturity assessment as well. And then the company goes either or to AI needs analysis, or this high performance computing needs analysis with CSC. They can do both, but quite often they start with one or the other. And then based on that, the service roadmap is redefined with the customer manager from FAIR between the customer, and if there is a consensus that yes, we want to move forward with this specific beneficiary service provider organization, the customer manager will make a handover to the experts in that organization, and in this case, CSC takes over with their experts, and our customer manager is kind of on the side, just making sure that everything goes forward smoothly. And then the third phase is pretty much like kind of doing the production of the service, and FAIR supports the service provider organization to apply necessary funding. In our case, since we are offering this kind of HPC needs analysis service, it is considered as an innovation cluster service. So we don't need to apply specific additional state funding for those companies, but we can treat them as kind of as something that belongs to the daily lives of an EDIH, and we can operate underneath this like EDIH support money, which makes things so much easier. And that is like our benefit. That, but I know that in other countries, many EDIHs struggle with the state aid and how to apply for this. There was also a question to Juhani regarding serving international companies. Basically, Finland is not objecting. We can serve under de minimis quota the companies, but it is then kind of like other kind of agreements that there might be how to divide the actual cases between EuroHPC member countries, for example, who is the local nodes responsible for local companies and so forth. But kind of basically Finland is okay with serving international companies as well with the EDI funds. I want to leave my presentation in this note that I think in Finland we have everything in place, but I think we still lack the understanding how high-performance computing can be utilized. But I do believe, like the whole of Europe pretty much right now believes, that we need to become digitally independent. And for those reasons, it's really crucial to invest and have all the stakeholders on board so that we can actually have European large language models developed and we can really kind of cut the ties to elsewhere. Thank you.
So, thank you. Maybe questions afterwards. You have question? Okay, please.
You mentioned the digital maturity assessment. Is that the one from the DTA? And how happy are you with it?
Yes. So this digital maturity assessment is given to us by the EU Commission. The purpose is to measure the increase of digital maturity of companies, but since the aim of Commission is to, as mentioned, overall increase the digital maturity of companies, moving from Excel sheets to different kind of digital platforms and so forth. It does not really serve our purposes because we are focused on serving companies that may already have done some trialing with AI. They are much more mature than what the EU actually is now thinking with this tool. So my answer to you is no, it does not serve us. No, I do not. I mean, there are even cases that during the first kind of round, the company evaluates their digital maturity really high, then their awareness increases, and the next round they're like, oh crap, we're not actually that good in this, so we might go downwards, and it's problematic, but we are prepared to really tackle this in our mid-review this summer. So I think we're on the same board with the DMA. Let's just bear along.
Okay, thank you. Interesting question, interesting answer. Okay, now next presentation is from Sweden. Torbjorn Jonsson, please.
Yes, from RISE Sweden. And regarding the DMA, first of all, yes, but that's the same problem with all DMA, all digital maturity assessments. None of them are perfect. This one, it's good enough. It's not worse than any other. So, but it generates a lot of data because every EDIH or EDI, I've started using that word instead. The sh is difficult for us Swedes. But we're actually gaining a lot of data, and we're getting a lot of data all over Europe, and we're getting data from different time slots. Before starting with an SME or a company, and in the middle and in the end and so on. So we're getting a lot of data to work on. So that is good as well. Some are the same, some not. What we didn't coordinate, so it was fairly okay. I'm starting from the top. What is an EDI? And we're starting from the same top as you are, all with the HPCs. We are actually starting from the top, shaping Europe's digital future. That is the priority. This is the European priority that we all are working with. And from that priority, there are a number of policy areas from the Commission, and one is Europe's digital decade. Do you recognize this? Are you in this HPC world? Because we are on the same track, you know. And within a policy area, it addresses government, skills, infrastructures, businesses it's a policy area, quite wide. And to get this done, there are a number of programs. One of them is the Digital Europe program, or Digital Today then. Okay? Now then, the Digital Europe program addresses 5 key capacity areas. I got 2 pictures with a lot of text. This is the first of them. And this is from the Commission. 5 key capacity areas That is supercomputing, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and advanced digital skills. Now we're getting a little bit wider. Now it's not that key technology anymore. And again, then in the end, wide use of digital technologies. So we're saying this in 5 key capacity areas, but they really are not the same for all companies. We're discussing supercomputing and wide use of digital technologies. And for the EDIs, we work with all 5. The HPCs, of course, then it's supercomputing. But for the EDIs and for the portfolio with the skills and training and so on that Solja showed, we are working with all 5 areas. Also, wide use of digital technologies. Some targets. Okay, it's a mission. But that is the mission of the digital innovation, of the EDI. Advance digital transformation across EU to bring cutting-edge tech to 75% of the European companies. 75% of the European companies should work with cutting-edge technology. How is it in your country? Ensure that 90% of the companies have a basic level of digital know-how. I think that one may be easier. Still, it's 90%, but basic level, that is easier. But 75% of European companies bringing cutting edge, I think that's a tough one. That is what we are working with together. But it's the mission of the EDIs. I would like to say a sister program, another one, that is the sectorial AI testing and experimentation facilities, the TEFs, because we are also with the HPC, EuroHPC and the EDIs, we are close related to this one as well. That is the AI testing and very much affected on the AI Act coming and the new regulations. This is very tough for the companies working with the AI. And here's the support system for them. And we have TEFs for manufacturing, healthcare, agri-food, and smart cities. Energy coming up in another program, but still a TEF as a horizon, but still it's coming up, number 5. Okay then, in Sweden then, Solja, I use the word, the number 227 EDICs in Europe. That is because I also count the ones that digital didn't fund, but with Seal of Excellence, that is working EDICs in Europe is actually 227. From 151 are funded by digital. In 30 countries, RISE participate in 6 of the Swedish 9 EDICs. And Sweden also, RISE also participates actually and also manages 3 TEFs in Sweden. So RISE is very much dominating both the EDICs and the TEFs in Sweden. We don't coordinate all of them. We coordinate Mighty. I coordinate that one. And also the AgriHub is also, it's not really running, but it's also coordinated by RISE. And we work all over Sweden with, first of all, with EDICs and some nodes that the EDICs are working with. So as the basic for actually shoveling in SMEs or companies or also public sectors into the system, into the support system to get wider use of digital services, I think we work quite well in Sweden. We're good in shoveling in companies. This was just the last picture. This was the DMA that we discussed. It was a lousy example. I just took it from another picture. It was bad numbers, 9% digital maturity level. Who wants to be 9%? But it shows a little bit of what is coming out. So when you do the DMA, you at least get, yeah, it's not that bad actually, what comes out of the system. So it's worth working with. Questions?
Any questions?
Thank you.
Not yet. So, thank you. Now we have discussion. It's time for discussion. So, some people will join. Juhani Huttunen and Tor Wickfeld and also Aiga Irmeja and Liga Vetsa. So, we will have discussion board here. So, here is our team of EDICs. 2 are from Latvia and 2 from Sweden and 2 from Finland. So, quite tricky question. Okay, the first point, I have got questions. And one is managing the customer flow from EDICs to HPC specialists and vice versa. Would you please comment on this, how you are dealing in your country and who is going to discuss this issue?
Yes, I could comment from the digital accelerator of Latvia. As we are operating in quite similar way as you explained, and mainly seeking for the companies and cooperation with the companies who are already matured or understanding what they want to do, and to develop some new products or platforms. Our intention at the beginning was that in this case, company would understand what they need. But when we started actively working, we actually understood that the awareness raising in the company side, also in the company side, IT company side, who are already dealing with the some kind of developing themselves, some kind of IT products, platforms, services, is still to be the investment should be made in the capacity, and especially capacity of the managers and of the decision-making bodies, because in the IT structure level, the specialists understand and they know quite well what are the technological movements and how the things should be done. But in the management level, there is a resistance still for the innovations. And what we are doing, therefore, our first 2 main priorities this time is to raise the capacity of the managers, and we are providing different kind of training programs for the managers on the different kind of technologies, to explain in their way how the companies can benefit. That one point, and the other is how to translate the processes and that what's happening in the academic part, because the academic movement is actually moving very fast, and we see also in Latvia quite deep roots in the different kind of technologies, but to translate it to the language companies would understand, and to create this kind of business perspective, it's also our priority. And it's why this kind of cooperation between and EDIH is the platform of cooperation where the academics are coming together with the specific businesses, companies, industries, and this should be facilitated even more through the different kind of like events like this one, and also organizing face-to-face consultations when we see, as you explained, that there is some kind of potential of the company or of their need for the specific technology, then we should bring those academics and experts in the close cooperation, face-to-face consultations with the company to have this at least 1 hour or more specific consultation for the that's two things we are doing, and but still we are in the beginning of that, I could say. So.
Thank you.
So, if I may, I would like to take a couple of steps back to understand better what are EDIHs, and in the context, how can EDIH cooperate with HPC centers and also and do big science. The first is like very oversimplified EDIH mission is to digitalize or help to digital transformation European SMEs. And that's it. And already colleagues from Finland and Sweden already explained a lot of things how EDIHs are doing, but basically this is as simply as that. And in my experience, like talking to various EDIHs around Europe, let's again do some oversimplified division of EDIHs, and let's say that there are hubs that are working towards really highly digitalized, highly advanced technologies, but since the budgets are not very big for EDIHs. So we saw like 3 to 5 million for 3-year time, and with quite a lot of partners within the hub, meaning that the help can be, or support can be delivered to a limited amount of companies. And usually those are like about 100 companies that are target for a hub. And then there is another approach that EDIH can do, and this is to work on this wide adoption or wide awareness and really working with SMEs, what Torbjorn said. 90% of SMEs fulfilling this target have at least basic digital skills or digital capacity. And this is, again, so we are working on a mass market, we are creating digital awareness, and we are creating future customers, tomorrow's customers for advanced technologies. So those are two things, and somehow it turned out that EDIH I am representing here in Latvia, we currently are working more on this second approach. We are working on a mass market. So far we talked about this digital maturity assessment tool. So far, for example, here in Latvia, we have made this test on about 2,000 companies. So which is, I think, also for you, comparing with other hubs, it's quite a good amount. But still, we've seen so many companies with so low digital maturity level. But those companies are interested in technologies. They really want to change the way how they are working. And we should help them. But those are not today's customer for HPC centers, quite clearly, right? But they are tomorrow's. Because unless we are not creating networking and ecosystem and awareness of technologies, tomorrow there won't be customers.
Okay, thank you. Maybe more comments?
My turn? Okay, several thoughts comes from these good openings here. I would say Solja almost told everything about how this cooperation between FAIR EDIH and CSC, which is the HPC center in Finland, works in practice. So what to add? Maybe I'd like to repeat partly, but emphasize that it has been very valuable collaboration in a manner that, from our perspective, EDIHs, because they have these kind of networks, there are academic players, there are commercial companies, SMEs, and then there are cities and local business promoters, whoever. That's a great like an environment to let us know that whom we should be approaching to, and we have organized together like several events. And if we have something in mind that we'd like to reach this kind of an industry sector, then we are asking that, do you have in your networking the contacts and disseminate the information. And one thing that we managed to do quite nicely start actually last year. Earlier we were having this kind of a generic information sharing and getting overall awareness of HPC, LUMI, supercomputing as a new one. But we were organizing this kind of specific sector-specific, industrial sector-specific events. Like the first one was not for fair EDI, it was for location EDI, which is another one of these four, also in Finland, and together organize that one, find the right people there. Then we have this kind of a chemistry and material sciences, and there we worked with fair EDI. Then we had also beginning this year national language processing, this kind of event, and again working with fair EDI. So that's something that is a very important part of how we benefit from what EDIs are doing, and not to forget that actually. After this pre-assessment, as Solja was telling, whether using DMA or whatever, they are handing over these most promising or who have a reasonable capability to have some kind of productive collaboration with us to us, and then we continue the discussion, and many of those discussions go to just try and buy and maybe some actual projects, or maybe not. But that's a very important channel to do this kind of pre-filtering for us in this respect.
Thank you. Tor?
Well, we've heard three very exhaustive answers. I'm not sure how much I can add. I mean, I'm inspired by how you work together, Torbjorn and I. For context, I'm involved in the EuroCC National Competence Centre in Sweden. So we work in the same organization, Torbjorn and I, and we benefit greatly from that. We do talk, we should talk more, and we should align our activities, obviously, in a similar way that you do, because there is often a very natural pathway from an EDIH and a EuroCC center. And maybe just one question I could bring up to my co-panelists, which would be, is there ever the reverse situation where we get in touch with a customer through the EuroCC Competence Center, and actually we might figure out that this particular EDI is the right endpoint for that customer?
Well, thanks for this initiative. I was actually thinking about this, that it is a two-way street, because we are getting a lot of leads from CSC as well. So the companies that are operating with CSC, their people are now aware of FAIR and our other service providers and services and matchmaking capabilities, not only within Finland, but with this 227, it is within Europe and the TEFs that we can connect those companies to. So it is actually working vice versa, and very practically how it's been done. CSC's project manager advises those companies to submit a registration form. So they kind of come back to the original basic kind of service process for us. They submit the registration form. They mention that they have been participating CSC service, and then we immediately, when we discuss the case with the whole consortium, we can discuss more like, okay, so Elina, let us know what's been done actually with this company. What is your recommendation, what they actually need, and how to move it forward. So we try to bring all the customer cases back to the initial process so that we're not getting confused, because there are now hundreds of companies, and if we start treating them like each individually, it's going to be a huge mess. But that is actually good. And then another tip, like from my side, is I have a teacher's background, so we speak about oppilaan tuntemus, like knowing your students. So for me as a project manager, it's important to know the people I work with. And I asked what the beneficiaries in my consortium, what they want and how they want me to work, and they said they want to see me on site as much as possible. So I said, yes, I'm happy with that, and I tried to visit them, like all of them, to have these discussions, ongoing discussions to kind of stay aware what our beneficiaries need, and then also transfer the knowledge that we get from the industry sector to our beneficiaries as well.
Okay, thank you. I see that we have to come more closely each together with each other and communicate on this. Okay, maybe there are some questions from public. It's quite a difficult topic. Estonia, Lithuania. No.
I can just add also one interesting thing which I think we should market more, and it was already mentioned that we have a possibility to support this test before invest activity, so that the companies can really use the for example technology without any like investment at the beginning, so EDIH can subsidize or through the like their systems provide opportunity to use this technology for some period of time just to test whether it fits to the need. And it's not used quite often in Latvia at the moment, and I think that it is an opportunity we should market more, talk about more, and it is opportunity how we can show practically how it works, how, for example, how fast they could get to the result if they are using the computing infrastructure they have within the company, or if they are using some kind of supercomputing possibilities, and then they can compare, and it doesn't cost anything to them. So this test before invest should be, I think, marketed more.
Just adding about test before invest, first thing that we in Latvia can be very, very happy about is that granting finances for EDIH operations, Latvia government gave us a bit more than a necessary 50%, by the way. And we are giving some extra money specifically to run those test before invest projects. So this is for companies with a limit of 20,000 per company, and yes, this is an opportunity Latvian companies can use. However, what is a challenge we have faced with designing test before invest offer to businesses is that it is quite hard to package this service, because service should be packaged or standardized. And I think this is something that we have to work together in order to design an offer for businesses. And businesses are speaking business language, not science language. And this is something that we are still struggling.
Thank you. As I see many problems to solve, challenges. And it was quite interesting discussion. I think we have to close this, yeah? Or not yet? So maybe there are more discussion.
Just started.
Yeah, just started, yeah. Who have some questions maybe from public? Because our time is over, yeah?
You can continue a bit if you want.
Yeah. No, okay, maybe some points at the end, because I know that there is a special test produced by a Slovenian company, and we have translated in Latvian, it's translated in Estonian, I know, and some other countries. But how good it is, it's the question, because it was said that you also had a test, and it is not very efficient, but I think that we have to really communicate more often, more deeper on this issue, and then maybe things will go on. Maybe some more comments at the end.
You're referring to the HPC maturity assessment tool, I believe, yeah. I would like to see it tested in the wild. We contributed, or we translated it into Swedish maybe we can collaborate on that in Sweden to deploy it whenever there might be a client, a company which might have HPC needs. We can contrast it, compare it to the AI maturity assessment. Yeah.
So is this Slovenian-driven?
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, okay, we are about to start to have a closer look at that, how to deploy it in the best possible manner. Yeah.
No, yeah, this is one option. Maybe we can choose. Maybe it works. If not, then we have to improve it. Or if it is possible. It's not possible, I guess. But at least we will have some experience on this.
This is definitely an area where the NCCs can learn from the EDIs. I mean, you've been working with the AI maturity assessment, and we haven't been working with any maturity assessment at all, except ad hoc, informal conversations. So I think I would be very interested in hearing how you do it in more detail.
Yes, I'm really interested in that maturity test because I see that after this initial assessment we do within the EDIHs, and it is more general assessment of the companies. And according to that assessment, we are setting up the roadmap for every company, where we are setting the potential, where and how they should invest and to do things. And if we see this, some signs, as you mentioned, regarding the questions, and those questions are answered with yes, there is some kind of potential to use this technology, then I think that we can propose to do that maturity as a next step already, and that's how we can collect some kind of data from the Latvian companies and to talk more data-based, not only example by example or case by case.
Okay, thank you. So it was nice discussion. We spoke about EDIHs or EDIHs. I don't know how to translate it in the right way. I'm using EDIH in Latvian. Others are saying EDIH, yeah, because it depends how we are translating. Okay, thank you, presenters and discussion people. So I hope it was interesting for public, and thank you all.
Thank you.